Well, I have a terrible one for you today. We are talking the crash of the century. You should see what these pundits on CNBC and all these outlets are saying. It is going to get crazy. And for those of you that are like, oh, come on, Bravo, what crash? How about Tesla down 50%? I would say that's a crash. And we have things never seen before. And you want to know what? I think the Fed is getting ready for a big crash, or you could call it a big depression. But let's dive into my computer and take a look at what the crash of the century is going to look like. And here it is. Dr. Doom warns the next decade. Now, for you LA Unified kids, that would be 10 years. So if you have 10 years ahead of you to tread water, well, then you knock yourself out. Could bring massive insolvency and cascading financial crises, which I say that is great. So why don't we take advantage of it? Oh, by the way, that Tesla trade that everyone said you're an idiot, which I agree, I'm an idiot. If you look here, that got triggered at 254. I took half of my profit. That was where I exited at 50%. And you want to know where the rest of it is going to be? No, computer, I do not want to put in another trade. I will finally finish executing 100% of that trade, all the way down to 186. Take advantage of the course. Link in the description, $200. You will never beat it. And also looking at this one, because you're saying, oh, it's not that bad. Okay, look. Hey, Tesla was just at $400 a share, okay? Now we're at 204. It just shaved off half. And coming in from someone who knows a lot about the Fed, Larry Summers thinks he knows what could be triggering a gigantic, okay, I went a little much on the word giant, global recession right now, which it's happening in China. I'll get into that, and warns the fire department is still in the station. And as Larry says, we've got the most complex, desperate, World War III, and cross-cutting set of challenges that I think I can remember in 40 years, which would probably be a few more years than our president could remember. Oh, and before I forget, because I'm going to see a scroll, remember I mentioned China, and I've been saying China's rolling over. We're looking at debt. They can't pay it. Here, listen to what they have to say.
Because SIFI previously thought one of the stronger developer has not been able to hold up.
And this was the developer that had the state guaranteed bonds.
Exactly.
And you thought that everyone thought that this was going to be the big game changer for the market.
So you guys, these are state guaranteed bonds. The government, we are fine. They are not fine. And I wonder why. What could possibly be the culprit? Oh, wait, I know. That would be the Fed. Look at the U.S. interest rate hikes. Rates are rising faster than any time in history. Look at that yellow bar. It is just like, hello, fireworks. And the crazy thing is it's not stopping, which I kind of need it to stop, because this explosion is going to be bad. So please, Barbara, back away. But coming in from it's bad and it's going to get worse, those faces are faces of people that look like it's going to get worse, dropping out. But the 98%, that's kind of big. Would you not agree? 98%, can we round it, please, of CEOs are prepping. They're all prepping now. I guess we're all prepping. For what? A gigantic recession. I mean, hey, you know what? The CEOs are thinking it's going to be brief, shallow. I say no. I mean, when you guys are looking at China, charting the global economy, it's a big word, deteriorating. And it's coming from China, heading over here, and we're all feeling it. And now there's panic, and no one knows what to do. Coming in from JP Morgan trader. No one knows what to do right now. Not a single person. Oh, wait. Can I be counted? I mean, I know what to do. You right-click, you click the sell button, okay? And you get to make money on the way down. And guys, for those of you who feel like, you know what, Bravo, I feel like I missed the boat again. I missed it going up. Again, you get above the 200-day moving average, you put it, not financial advice, we only pay for trade here. You put in a buy. See that big sell indicator that came on? Maybe take advantage of the course for $200. Maybe wait till it goes up when I finish, and then the price goes to 1,000. But taking a look at this, you still have time. Okay, see that yellow line? That is called the kiss of death, and it happens on the S&P 500. When you cross that line on the monthly, do you see? 2008 dropped 50%. And coming in from Bloomberg, we have Jamie Dimon says, what Dimon's easy 20% drop in the S&P 500 from here looks like? Well, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like the S&P 500 drops by 20%. Actually, looking at the article, we got such a slide. A slide? Such a slide from shave $6 trillion off. So that's what it looks like. Oh, big weights on from what? Apple? Well, I already grabbed that short. Tesla, grabbed that one. I don't know if I was able to grab the Amazon, but also I have Neil McCoy Ward here with me.
Johnny, stop talking about grabbing things. Now listen, this is getting very serious right now. Jamie Dimon is a man that is in the know, and this is getting quite serious. I might have to get a camo jacket on and head for the hills. It might be that I'm in the Isle of Man, but this man, Jamie Dimon, he knows what's going on.
But I mean, realistically, guys, I think that it's going to be more than 20%. I mean, 20% would just be a haircut.
I don't know. JB,
Sir?
people need to realize, honestly, hey guys, we're economic ninja here. Point being is this. 20%, this is like him saying 20% knowing it's going to go much more than that. He's one of the smartest guys in the room. So he'll be able to at least say, hey, look, I told you, that's an easy target. When you're seeing FANG stocks dropping like this, you know that it's going to cause a psychological damage in the common retail investor, and they're going to start heading for the hills and selling more, adding more selling pressure, which wants to run things down.
Okay, I don't know if you guys caught this. People are always like, Johnny Bravo, how tall are you?
Why am I sure?
Oh, and I got one more for you guys. We have, let me zoom up here, coming in from Zero Hedge, Hartnett reveals his Fed capitulation watch, Fed panic coming, but not just yet. Now I'm going to hand the phone back over to the economic.
People need to realize something very important right now. The Fed needs much higher unemployment, and they need to be able to break the consumer and try and get them to spend less. The problem is when that happens, the velocity of money slows down drastically, and then it can also spiral out of control the opposite way. So please understand this. The Federal Reserve needs to break the market to try and calm inflation and cause a little bit of deflation. But just like they used to try and keep inflation over 2% or at 2%, and that got away from them, it's going to happen on the opposite side.
And then I got one more because I'm a chartist, so we can talk all day long. Do you see that? If you guys can see that that orange line right there, once that orange line, I'll tell you when they're going to pivot. It's all in the technicals. This is the U.S. government bond 2-year yield, and you can see it, right? You see that orange line?
Short-term money.
And that orange line, once that orange line makes it to that blue line and those two cross, that is exactly the day, well, maybe a few days, but that is basically going back through the charts, because that's what they do. They follow the 2-year, and it looks like they're in charge, but they're actually not. But they are in charge because what they speak actually happens. And so for the last umpteen years, they have just followed this chart right here. And when you want to know when they pivot, they're going to pivot.
Look at 2007, right there.
Right here.
Oh,
Right
incredible.
There. Zoom in on it.
Yeah.
And the pivot.
Yep.
So that's when it started to dump, and here we are today. So to answer the question, when pivot? Well, when that orange line crosses blue line, pivot is successful. Also, because I always forget, if you like the content, do you think maybe you want to consider subscribing, since I do videos every day, helping you figure out what your path is going to be over the next week, month, years, lifetime, or well, a decade. Then everything's fine. And I will see you in the next video.